So today we're going to make a spoon. Now spoons are very simple, very easy to make. You can even make one out of a real spoon. This is an Eppinger or Daredevil, and as you can see it's kind of spooned out a little, and it sticks up just a little bit of a slant at the front. You tie your line here, and well, these actually spin, so you might want to use a swivel. And then you have a hook on the end. This is a double hook. Usually they're treble hooks, but you can also get single hooks on them. And they're very, very popular lures, and they make different types. Here's a skinny one. This is a Lindy. It's got a weird shape to it, as you can see. And these work. I like to troll with these actually, and I have a bunch of these, but I catch fish with these casting. And you can just buy some spoons. These are spoon bodies right here you can buy, and all you've got to do is put a split ring on them and a hook. That's all you do, is just assemble them. Or you can paint them. I got some chrome ones and I painted a lot of them. You can also put reflective tapes on them, or just leave them the way they are. Another way to make them is spinner blades work pretty well. This is a Colorado blade, and this will actually spin pretty well. All you got to do is drill a little hole in the back, put your split ring and hook there, and you've got a spoon. And again, these you could use reflective tape or paint them, or just leave them as be. This is a number 00 Colorado blade with, it's either a 14 or 18 hook. The split rings looks huge on there, but it's a small split ring. And I have caught panfish with this. Now you can get them, this thing right here is supposed to make it weedless, and I find it doesn't work very good with this. This is a Johnson silver minnow, very, very, very popular lure. People catch a lot of fish with these. I find the hooks are a little dull, so I always sharpen them. And this just, I don't know, I get caught in the weeds a lot with this. I bought an Eppinger one time that had 2 of those wires like this, and it worked a lot better, a lot better. So I bought these. These are some spoons I just bought. These were brass ones. And I put some reflective tape on this one. And you buy the spoons separately, and you get the hooks separately, and they come with this little bolt. And then you can buy these if you want to. These are separate also. So I bought some of those, and you just screw it together. You just stick your hook in there, and then your wire here, and just bolt it. The bolt will stick out a little here. You could file that down if you wanted to. I just leave it. This is one that I painted. I've painted a bunch of them. I have a frog pattern one that I painted that I've caught quite a few fish with. Those all work well. But what I like to do is actually, I like to make one, and I get a sheet of metal. I get it at my local hardware store. It's 22 gauge, which is pretty thin. It's about 1 millimeter thick. You can go a little thicker, and that's fine, but I cut them with metal shears, which I don't want to go too thick because it makes it hard to cut. I get a 20, what is it? I think it's a 24-inch by 8-inch piece. And they're not very expensive. I think it's like $350, and you can make a ton of lures out of them. And you can cut them with something like this. These are straight cut. If you're not familiar with these, they have right and left and straight cut. Straight works good for me. I also sometimes cut them with a saber saw and a metal cutting blade. Have my piece of steel cut out. I had to sand it a little bit because it's had a little rust on it. It's really damp here in the garage where I work. Now what I'm going to do is I could freehand draw one. I could get a template off the internet. Boy, I couldn't tell you where, but I know you can find them. Google them. I'm going to use an actual spoon that I own. I like this size. I'm just going to paint it a different color. I'm just going to go ahead and trace this. Then I'll go ahead and make a mark where those holes are, so I have those just right. Now I'll cut that out. And I'll be back when I'm done. Okay, so now I have my rough shape cut out. This is very sharp and jagged right now. So I'm going to take my file and I'm just going to keep filing this until that's nice and smooth all the way around. And I can shape it a little bit too if it's not, you know, I didn't cut the corners really great. And you don't need to. This doesn't have to look great. Fish will bite it. If you want to take your time and really make it look professional, great. If you're always in a hurry like me to get out on the lake and try it, then you probably won't do that. Alright, I'll be back when I'm done with this. So now I need to make the cup. And what I'm going to do is I have a piece of wood that I've made a little indentation in. I used a Dremel to do that. You can also get these little rounded stones which work really good. You can get that for a Dremel or a drill. You can get different sizes and make different size holes for your indentation here. I'm just going to line this up and take a ball peen hammer and hit that a few times. And just keep doing that until you like your cup. You can see it's starting to bend there. Starting to get a little bit of a cup there. So once you have your cup done, you need to bend this part right here so that it bends up a little bit. This one's already doing it, so I'm kind of lucky. You need that to bend up a little bit. What I usually do is just stick it in a vise. You could grab it with pliers and then just bend it a little, and that'll give you that bend. But I think I'm going to let that go just the way it is. Okay, so I've got a good spoon there, and I've got a good uprise there. So now I got to drill the holes for where the hook and your line will go. If you have a drill press, that's awesome. If you have a nice vise or something to stick this in and drill, that's nice. But I think you can do something simple like this. Take a little piece of scrap wood so you don't drill into your workbench. Just stick that there, and I think a little clamp like this will hold it there just fine. I'm using a 1/16 inch drill bit. You want to take a punch or something and get a little hole started first. I didn't show that on the other one. Otherwise your drill bit will probably slide right off. And there's your holes. Now we're going to want to file this down a little bit too, because we've now made it that rough. And we're ready to clean this up a little, and with some, I use dishwashing detergent, and then we'll be able to prime it and then paint it. Okay, when you're spray painting, if you seem to have problems doing it and it's not coming out very well, or maybe you're new to it, there's a couple little tricks. First of all, don't put a heavy thick coat on. Make sure that you put a bunch of light coats on. Otherwise it'll get kind of thick and gummy and it will come right off. Another thing is, don't just spray it all over it, because again it will get too thick. Don't start right here and go here and keep going back and forth, because you'll get buildup on the ends. You want to start spraying way over here and go across. Don't let go of this until you're past it. Spray before you get to it, let it go until you're done. And that's plenty for the first coat. I'll come back and do a few more coats, flip it over, do a few coats on the other side, and then I'll be ready to do my regular color, which I think I'm going to do a fire tiger on this. Alright, so now I got my white primer on here, a few coats, and I did the same on the back, and then I put some brass paint, a few coats of that on the back. And what I want to do now is I'm going to paint this what's known as Fire Tiger. Fire Tiger is several colors. It's usually black. Usually you'll use the black in some type of a line, or maybe a squiggly line like this, or dots. It's usually green, yellow, or yellow chartreuse, and orange. So this lure here I've had a lot of success with, and it's orange, yellow, green. Imagine that. And I just use black glitter on there. So what I'm going to do with this, is I'm going to put a little blue painter's tape across here. I'm going to go green, yellow, and orange, and probably put little black dots on it. That's what I think I'm going to do. So I got my blue painter's tape. Regular masking tape works. You can, what you do is you stick it on your clothing and pull it off, and it will make it less sticky. But I just happen to have some of this, so I'm going to use it. So I think I want to go green on this side. I'll have to do at least 2 coats of this. And then I'll do my yellow and orange, and we'll put our dots on. There it is, my Fire Tiger and brass spoon. Thanks for watching.